Hi guys, so today I'll be showing you how you can make this juicy samosa and spring roll filling. If you've been searching for a unique filling recipe, then you should definitely stick around. So first we're starting with this crunchy spring roll filling. Let's get into it. The first thing you want to do is prep your vegetables by cutting everything. As you can see, I've done mine. So I'm using some cabbage, carrots, spring onion, some onion, and a little bit of green pepper. You can totally skip the green peppers if you like. And for my spices, these are the spices I would be using to season my spring roll. So guys, I like to start off by measuring out all the spices I will be using first. This is not necessary, I just do it so I stay more organized and not overput anything in their proportion. I would just be using half of 1 cube of knorr for this quantity. And now to my pan, I'll be adding 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I am just going to heat this up and then add in my onion. So guys, don't forget that all the ingredients and measurements are listed in the description box below, so do make sure to check that out. So after sauteing my onion for a few seconds, I'm adding in my carrots now. And I know this look weird, but I love to add in my carrots first because carrots tend to retain a lot of moisture, and frying this first just gives it a head start at drying out more, because by the time you add in your cabbage first and then your carrots, the carrots gets soggier rather than frying. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just prefer to do it this way. So guys, now I'll add in my cabbage. And one thing I wanted to mention is you have to be careful of the spices you're using. As you can observe, I did not use salt. I have not added salt at all to this yet, and salt is usually the last thing I add because vegetables tend to get salty very fast, so you need to be cautious about that. And as you can see, I'm just trying to mix this as thoroughly as I can, just so that I do not have any situation whereby I have spice build up in one particular spring roll over the other. And now I just added in my spring onions, which is literally the last vegetable that we will be using for our spring roll. And I'm just going to give this a good mix and then add in some pepper. So now I'm just adding in a little bit of flour, and please guys, don't skip this flour because the flour would help keep your trap in every excessive moisture, thereby resulting in very juicy spring roll without having to add water. Water will just make all your vegetables soggy, so the flour will do the trick in giving you juicy spring roll guys. That's it. This is literally it, and voila, our spring roll is ready. Onto the samosa. So guys, we'll start off by prepping our chicken, and I'm just using chicken breast with bone without skin because the skin is not important. And to that, I'm just seasoning it with Maggi, curry, ginger and garlic powder, some thyme, and a little bit of salt. I'm going to cover this with water and then let to boil for 10 minutes. If you're still watching guys, I believe I deserve a big thumbs up at this point, so please feel free to also hit the subscribe button. Okay, and now our chicken is ready guys. We're just going to set this aside to cool down before we shred them. So now that the chicken is cold enough for me to touch, I'm just going to separate the flesh from the bone before we can shred them. So guys, now that that's done, I'm just going to use these 2 forks to shred them into smaller chunks. And as you can see, I'm just using one to pin down the chicken while using the other to shred them. In fact, this technique is so easy. So you don't want to do this too much because we're not trying to get this into tiny shreds, because we're going to still cut them into smaller pieces. So you just want to shred them into chunks rather than tiny bits, if that makes sense. So guys, now I'm just going to cut this into smaller bites, nothing too small, but just about half an inch apart. I'm just slicing this half an inch apart. Now that that's done, guys, let's get into stir frying. Similar to the spring roll, we're starting off with a little bit of oil. To that, I'll be adding in my spring onion, and then I'll be adding in minced green pepper. You can totally skip out the green pepper, but the flavor it gives your samosa is so unique. If you are really into making your samosa taste different this season, then you should definitely add any form of bell pepper, whether yellow, red, or any color you can find. Just add it. So I added in some hot fresh pepper, and I love using fresh pepper for my recipes because of the flavor. But anyways, I just added in my spices, and guys, always remember, control the quantity of spices you add, because when you fry your samosas, the spices are going to intensify the flavor. Okay, so always control the spices you add. So now I just added in my flour, and the flour plays exactly the same role it plays in the spring roll, just that in the samosa it's going to help me control the water quantity I'll be adding. And I'm just going in with the stock of the chicken we boiled earlier, and I'm adding a little. In case you noticed, I did not add Maggi or salt to this dish right now because of the chicken stock I knew I would be adding. And now I'm just adding in a pinch of oyster sauce and adding in some fresh water, and I'm just going to keep mixing this as if I'm stir frying it, just so that I don't over pour water to overcook my chicken or anything. And that's it, guys. Our samosa filling is ready. Don't forget, I have a samosa wrap video where I teach you how to wrap samosas, wrap spring roll, fry them, and also freeze them. So be sure to check that out after this video. I would put the link in the description box below. And guys, our juicy samosa filling is ready. Like, just look at how juicy and dry it looks at the same time. This is perfection in the making. Let me know if you'll be trying out this recipe, and don't forget to leave a comment on what next you would love to see on this channel. And support me, guys. Support me by subscribing to my channel. Support me by sharing this video on your WhatsApp stories or your Instagram. And that's it. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Bye.